When I have a seizure, it's an out-of-mind experience. When I have a seizure, I get an aura. An aura is like a sensation in advance of losing consciousness, and the aura tells me I'm about to have a seizure. And my aura, it's hard for me to describe. As I describe it, I'm starting to relive it, having a seizure. So I'll describe it as best I can. When I have its aura, I hear clicking. And then I get visions, and then I start to see the world spin. And as this happens, my head starts turning to the left. And I know what's happening. And there's nothing I can do to prevent it. I fight it. But what the aura does allow me to do, and I remember one seizure where this really worked, it gives me just enough time where I can control what I do to sit down. So I was walking to a job interview. I had an aura. I managed to sit down on a wall. Obviously I had a seizure. I come around. There's all these people around me scared to death. What the heck's happened with this person? And you know, I'd had a seizure. But the aura allowed me to sit down so that rather than being standing and hitting the ground, I just fell much less, and so I had much less injury. Just thinking of the aura is a very traumatic experience for me, and just reliving it then has sent goosebumps all over me. Although every time I relive it, and as I've been doing the Cell for Epilepsy program, I discuss the aura more and more, I'm able to discuss it a lot better than I used to, but it's a very hard one. Not everyone has an aura. Some people go straight into a seizure. After I've had a seizure, I'm dazed, where I am dazed. There is no exhaustion that I've ever experienced that comes anywhere near how you feel after a seizure. Some of the most difficult physical activity I did in my lifetime, where you're running all day and you're just totally exhausted, is only the tip of the iceberg compared to the exhaustion of coming out of a seizure. And the confusion. I know when I come out of a seizure, I don't know what's happened. And then slowly I remember, oh, I had an aura, I must have had a seizure, I put things back together. Not a week goes by now where I don't think about the possibility of having a seizure. And I've not had a seizure in over 40 years. 40. But I know there's always a chance. So I try to do everything I can. I try to keep all the safeguards in place, regular medication. When I go sailing, I have a checklist. 8 p.m., take your medication. I try not to get too fatigued, sleep well. But I know any day it could happen. And I've learned to live with this much better than I used to. It used to scare me. Maybe it's because I've been so long without a seizure that it's less in the forefront. But I still think about it every week. There will be something that happened. I was driving this morning and there was a flash, some light on the side. And you know, flashes of light can be a trigger for a seizure. This flash was there and it just suddenly came into my head. Reminded me of the potential to have a seizure. I didn't have an aura or anything, it's not at all, but there were just little triggers that made me think about seizures.